door and people walking in, and I don't know why, but please find out what sheriff is supposed to be at for his calendar.
Alexander. So tomorrow, we're gonna start off with position number 1, Mr. Alexander.
Okay, Judge, thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Alexander. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state of purpose calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear on the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Good morning, Mr. Douglas. This is going to be a negotiated plea, is that correct?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, it'll be negotiated, and we do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for the purpose of this plea.
Very good. Good morning, Ms. Campbell.
Good morning, Your Honor. The offer on this matter is 12 months to serve 34 days. Credit for the time served 17 days. The balance is to be probated. And as a condition of the probation, the defendant is to complete the Family Violence Intervention Program, as well as have no further contact with Cecil Woodward. He is also to stay away from 2197 MLK Junior Drive Southwest, which is the incident location. And that's the state's recommendation.
Anything further, Mr. Douglas?
Yes, Judge, because the balance is probated, we would be asking for Mr. Alexander's probation fees to be waived. And if the state is in agreement, if we could switch him over to non-reporting upon completion of FVIP.
Any objection to not reporting, Ms. Campbell?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Alexander, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 0000264 J, you wish to plead guilty to battery family violence, is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
Represented by counsel, are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Is anyone forced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Alexander. I'm going to waive the probation fee for you while you're on probation and help you stay on your feet. And for you to complete the terms, it's going to go to a non-reporting status, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Alexander.
Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
Thanks, sir.
Position 13, Hightower.
Let's see, I've got down that this is Ms. McLeod's case. Do we have Ms. McLeod on the line this morning?
Okay.
Well, I don't think that Ms. McLeod is with us yet, so can we go to someone else until she arrives, please?
Mr. Murphy, did you need to speak with your client?
You're out here, Mr.
Judge, I'm here on Monet Jack. And I just was aware that he was back in custody as of late yesterday afternoon. I was asking if I could reset it to next Tuesday and then discuss with him. That would give me time to chat with him due to the recent developments of him being back in custody. He's been away a while.
Okay, that's fine with me. So next Tuesday, is that 2/6?
That's 2/7.
2/7, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it. And then I'll have an ample opportunity to see him and have him out.
Okay, very good. I'll see you. Ms. Lewis.
That was
Your
position
Your
14?
Honor,
Yes.
I would just like to note for the court that particular case is already assigned to a division judge. So I don't know if Your Honor is inclined to send it back to the division judge or to reset it back to SAP, but I did want to note that for the record.
Okay, if it's gonna be, let's reset it till next week to see what we're gonna do with it. If it's going to go to a jury trial or bench trial, we'll send it on to the division judge. If it's gonna be a plea, then we will leave it here in this in this court. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Anything?
you, Judge. Thank you, Madam Solicitor. That's all I have, Judge.
Good day, Mr. Murphy. We'll see you next time.
Position 15, Jackson.
This is gonna be a non-negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state on purpose calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Jackson? Do you swear firm the testimony you're about to give before this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hand down. Ms. Huggins, since this is gonna be a non-negotiated plea, can I get Mr. Jackson's history, please?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. 1 second, I'm pulling it up. Mr. Jackson. Howard, okay.
Okay, and the monitors.
All right, in regards to Mr. Howard Jackson, he has 27 cycles. I'm scrolling up, hold on, Judge, the computer.
We just called the sheriff. Apparently, they had a lot of call outs and they're trying to get somebody down here.
He does have convictions for theft by shoplifting. It is a felony. That was in 2016. He has a conviction, another conviction for theft by shoplifting in DeKalb County. A forgery first degree felony in Gwinnett County, that was in 2011. Another forgery first degree, 2009 in Henry County. Another forgery. I see at least 2 so far probation violations. He has a burglary conviction in 1998. That was out of DeKalb County.
Okay, thank you. Mr. O'Donnell.
Yes, Your Honor, the facts show that on August 6, 2021, the defendant walked into the SunTrust Bank at 9600 Metlock Bridge Road and cashed a fraudulent check for $1,320. The defendant was identified by his ID he provided to the bank teller. The check belonged to a Snide Ventures LLC, who was notified by the bank and denied issuing the check to the defendant. As you heard from pre-trial, the defendant does have 3 prior convictions for forgery, 2 theft charges, several probation violations, as well as a burglary. At this time, the state is recommending 12 months, 60 days to serve, 18 days credit for time served, balance probated with an anti-theft counseling, a stay away from SunTrust at 9600 Metlock Bridge Road, and 100 hours of community service.
Thank you. Mr. Dordes?
Yes, Your Honor, we're in agreement with the state on the stay away from the SunTrust as well as the anti-theft counseling. For the jail time, we are requesting for Mr. Howard to serve 36 days with credit for the 18 days he has served. He currently has a hold in another county that Mr. Howard wants to go ahead and deal with. He wants to go ahead and deal with that because he has received word after speaking with him, he passed on that he can join Seed Time and Harvest Ministry, which is in Birmingham, Alabama, which is led by Pastor Lindsay Davis. And that's a program that will assist with his issues with substance abuse counseling, as well as being a part of the ministry. And Mr. Howard is looking forward to using this program to jumpstart getting his life back on track. He also has concerns with the 100 hours of community service for the same reason. He doesn't want to be held up with probation and having that affect his ability to join the Seed Time and Harvest Ministry. Mr. Howard also mentioned that he has recently had hip surgery and has bone fragments in his left leg that he thinks might limit his ability to complete that community service. Additionally, I spoke with Mr. Howard and he understands that he won't be able to join the ministry immediately. He has to deal with his other holds. And so we're asking for Mr. Howard to have the opportunity to jumpstart that and not being held. He also understands that because the program he wants to join is in Birmingham, and I did confirm this program and look up the contact information for Pastor Lindsay Davis. But Mr. Howard does understand that he needs to speak with his probation officer about transferring any and everything to Birmingham, Alabama, before he can make that move. So for that reason, we're just asking we're fine with the anti-theft counseling, the stay away, and the probation time. We're just asking for an offer of to serve 36 days with credit for the 18 days he has served, and then no community service hours.
It'd be different if this was his first time, second time, third time, but this is his fourth time, fifth time, sixth time. So I'm gonna accept the state's recommendation regarding this. Maybe he will learn his lesson this time and won't be back before us, and hopefully those other programs will help him out. But if he wants to plead guilty today, I'm gonna accept the state's recommendation as far as the sentence is concerned.
You're not arguing. You want to take the offer? Because the state's offer, you understand the offer, right? Yeah. Okay, so you gotta do the 12 more days, you gotta do 100 hours of community service and probation. Yes, Your Honor, we're prepared to go forward with the negotiated plea. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Mr. Jackson, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 0002888B, you wish to plead guilty to forgery in the fourth degree. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'm gonna accept your recommendation, Mr. Jackson. I am gonna help you out by waiving the probation fees for you while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. You're gonna have to be on probation for the entire time. I hope that those other things that your counsel cited as far as that you're gonna be involved in will assist you as you go forward. Good luck, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, sir.
We have next.
Mr. Cooper, he's an add-on, position 1.
And this is gonna be a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor. Your turn.
Good morning, Mr. Cooper. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
You can raise your hand down, Mr. Cooper. Thank you. Ms. Campbell. You're on mute, Ms. Campbell.
Thank you, Your Honor. The negotiated plea agreement for this case is that on the count of DUI less safe, the defendant is to plead guilty and he is to do a sentence of 12 months to serve, 84 days, credit for the time served, 42 days. The balance is to be probated. He's supposed to do an alcohol, drug, and evaluation and treatment with an ASAM level 1 counselor. He is to do 30 days of community service. He's to pay a $600 fine. He's to do a risk reduction course, a victim impact panel, and he's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while he is on probation. As to the charge involving the defective or no headlights, driving while doing so, he is to plead guilty to 12 months of probation. That's to run consecutive with the DUI less safe. He is also to, I believe that probation is supposed to terminate when he completes his DUI conditions on the headlight charge. And pursuant to the plea negotiation, the state has agreed to no pros the remaining counts, and that includes the suspended license, the open container, giving false information to a law enforcement officer, and that is the state's negotiated plea. It was worked out between an ASG that's not in this division and a different public defender, but that's what they agreed to.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, Ms. Campbell, you want initially there to be 2 years of probation to give him the opportunity to complete all of this within that time period. But if he does complete it within whatever time period, then the probation is in its entirety to terminate.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
You understand me, Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke with the assigned attorney, and that's my understanding as well.
Okay, anything further?
We stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for the purpose of this plea. Other than that, I would just ask for Mr. Cooper's probation fees to be waived. And if possible, to switch him over to non-reporting upon completion of these conditions.
So it's my understanding that it's gonna terminate.
Oh, excuse me, yeah, pardon me, I'm ahead of the game, sorry.
All right. Mr. Cooper, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 0084458, you would simply guilty to driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, and effective with no pen lights. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Anyone forced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Mr. Cooper, I'm going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. And when you complete the terms of the probation, it will terminate. Good luck to you, Mr. Cooper.
All right, thank you.
Please make sure you send that non-process to me, to Katrina Lewis.
Yes, I will.
Position 19.
That one's not ready.
And what's the announcement on position 19?
Your Honor, that was one of the persons, we got 4 people unavailable, and if they're brought to the courtroom, I need to interview them. If
Mr. Miano needs to
I'll
be
go
interviewed. Where is this Mr. Miano on the jail court's iPhone?
Yes, sir. There we go.
So,
I can go to him.
all right, so how are you wanting to accomplish that?
Okay. There's telling me, Deputy Norris is telling me, I'll use the desk phone here and he'll be on his phone. He'll be on that jail iPhone. I'll be on this desk phone.
Did you all hear that? Jail court's iPhone?
No, say it again, sir.
Mr. McLean needs to interview Mr. Connor, so to accomplish this, he is suggesting that you all contact each other via phone.
Okay,
All right,
I'll call.
Hey,
court.
Duffy,
Yes,
call out a 22392 extension from the cell phone.
all right.
All right.
Your Honor, that situation obtains for 19 and 20 and for 26 and 7.
You can't call now because
19, 20, 26, and 27 need to be interviewed by Mr. McLean.
Correct. These are generally four people, I believe.
position 26, Mr. Shepherd.
That's one of those.
Oh, you gotta talk to him as well?
Right. Oh, he's right here. Great. If you sit in the red chair, I'll be right with you.
Position 21. Parlor.
That's ready. Now, that one's ready. That's a negotiated plea.
Okay,
Okay.
Be in the middle. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the middle. That's fine. Good morning. Good morning. This is a negotiated plea.
okay, good morning, Mr. Farley. I'm Jared Moore. This is the state on purpose calendar with the back by video. Do you agree to have the case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, put your hands down. Thank you, Mr. Farley. Mr. Abdullah.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the state is recommending 12 months to serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days, balance suspended, and a stay away from the target at 2539 Piedmont Road.
Mr. McLean.
That is correct, Your Honor. We stipulate to the necessary elements and he asked the court to accept his plea.
Paul, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 0000327D, you wish to plead guilty to theft by shoplifting. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Parley. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Francois, we have it looks like we have Madam Interpreter on the line. Do we have an interpreter case this morning that we need to deal with?
Yes, Mr. Escobar, that's position 7 and 8.
Okay, is he in the courtroom or is he gonna be placed in another room?
Your Honor, he's in the courtroom, but I need a break. I requested a breakout room in the Zoom chat with my laptop and the interpreter when she has a moment, because I still need to speak with him.
Okay, so I see Madam Interpreter here, so however you all want to accomplish that, if you want to, start working on that. I just wanted to acknowledge that she was here and that we're gonna need to deal with that this morning also. Good morning, Ms. Jens.
Good morning, sir.
Position 22 pass.
Okay,
Honor.
Is he ready, McLean?
That's one where I need a quick phone call from the state because I noticed the 204, 102 and 51 numbers, and I wanted to clarify the mathematics on that.
you have to have a phone call, or can we do it in open court here?
We can do it open court. Let me explain why it was confusing to me. Oftentimes, just to put it briefly, oftentimes we take the number of days or the system takes the number of days that they've been in jail. And if they wish to give them time served, they double that, knowing about the 2-for-1 rule. His recommendation from the state is 204 days to serve. Half of that would be 102 days. He served 51 days, which is half of the other. I haven't seen that triple thing happen before, and I didn't know if that was a mistake or if they meant for him to serve an extra 51 days.
Yes, this is not a time served offer. He's expected to serve the additional 51 days. Or it actually would equal out to yeah, he's expected to serve the additional 51 days. It's not a time served offer.
I'll explain that to him further. It is a situation where we may have to put that to a different day for some evaluation. It's his, he was off his meds and broke his mother's window.
So do you need to talk to him first, Mr. McLean, or do you just want to place him on another calendar in anticipation you can talk to him? Since
I think it would be more efficient to do the latter, Your Honor, this morning.
Okay, so when do you want to place him on next Tuesday's calendar?
That's fine, because I'll talk to Mr. Howard and other people in the meantime.
Okay, so we're gonna reset position 22 until, you say that was the
It's 2-7.
7 to 2/7 next Tuesday.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
You ready for 25?
Yes, if the mom is,
Position 25, Sanjo.
Gerald,
Yeah.
have a seat right here in the dark room chair.
This is also a non-negotiated plea.
His
That is correct.
his mother's is in the courtroom today, General County.
I believe his mom's in the courtroom.
Yeah, she is here.
Right.
Good morning, Mr. Sandra Drew. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state of purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you raise your right hand for me? You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Put your hand down. Since this is a non-negotiated plea, can I get the history, please?
Yes, Your Honor, this defendant has a total of 12 cycles. Hold on. He has a conviction for theft by shoplifting, that's out of Clayton County. I have noted at least 2 probation violations so far. We have a criminal trespass, that's out of Clayton County as well. I see 1 failure to appear. We have a terroristic threats and acts, 2 years probation, that's out of Fulton County. And another theft by shoplifting out of Riverdale Municipal Court. Nothing further to add, Your Honor.
Ms. Abdullah?
Your Honor, the facts show that the defendant was staying in a transition group home with the victim, Francis Reuter. On March 14th, 2020, the defendant came to the home late and began banging on the door. Mr. Reuter and other residents could not let the defendant in because it's against the rules of the group home. At that time, the defendant climbed through a window, and once he made his way inside the home, he slapped Mr. Reuter in the face. Mr. Reuter's face was red, and it was clear to officers that he had been hit. The defendant does have 2 FTAs, one from 2018, another from 2010, as well as a battery family violence arrest in 2016. In addition to the convictions that pretrial listed, he was also convicted for carrying a loaded gun out of Oklahoma in 2012. For this reason, the state is recommending a 12 months to serve 30 days, 8 days credit for time served, balance probated with 6 weeks of anger management, no further contact with the victim, Francis Reuter, as well as the witness, David Williams, a stay away from 2682 Stoneview Terrace in East Point, and nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor, our point was simply that the 6 weeks of anger management classes wouldn't hurt, and he'd even be willing to increase the number of classes or do community service. Anything to try to persuade the court that 7 extra days of jail is not necessary to drive home to him the point that this was not what he needs to be doing. Your Honor, his mom's here. The best medication that works for him is, I believe, a monthly, correct me if I'm wrong, a monthly shot, an injection, and he's about to miss that. There's some problems. So if the mom would speak to that briefly.
Pam, would you like to address the court?
Yes,
I need you to come up to the microphone for me, please. If you go the other way. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
yes, sir.
Then, would you tell me, before you put your hand down?
Paja Sanjurjo.
Say it again.
Paja Sanjurjo. CADIA SANJURJO.
What would you like to tell me?
I did want to bring up the fact that all these past things that they did state about him, we did have a good 10-year span of mental health, and those court dates, that 2016 family violence was actually incurred in 2010. And the reason it took to 2016, because the majority of that time he was either at Georgia Regional, in Grady Mental Health, or any multiple mental health hospitals throughout Atlanta. Wherever they could find there's always a lot of space. He's even spent 8 months in Rice Street's mental health office before because they couldn't find anywhere to take him. 3 years ago, just real quick, 3 years ago when this incident happened, that's actually not how it happened because I did speak to the house then. Yes, sir.
You know, if I may interject, ma'am, if you would speak to why would it be advantageous for his medication regimen for him not to be in jail in the next 7 days and get that shot?
Yes, and I brought the documentation. Your Honor, in the last 2 years, Dominique has been compliant on his medication by a shot that's called Haldol Decanoate. He receives it every 30 days. I drive him every 30 days. I'm his legal guardian over his mental state. He does take his medication every day consistently the way that he is supposed to. And in the last 2 years, since he's been on Haldol Decanoate, he has no more psychosis. So we don't have these confrontations or anything with anybody, but it's the medication. I'm very concerned about him being at Rice Street, because if it took him 8 months to become competent to stand in. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, he lives with me. Yes, sir. I own a home, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Deborah, thank you for your patience.
Okay. Okay, all right, sir. Thank you, sir. No, sir. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Oh, your microphone is so low, it's almost muted. Your Honor. I can hear you.
I can't hear you as well.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Anything further, Mr. McLean?
Nothing further, thank you.
Your Honor, I didn't hear the ruling.
I haven't made a ruling.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought I missed it.
Okay. Anything further before I take the plea?
Nothing, do you want to speak before he takes your plea? No, sir. Okay, nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Sanjurjo, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 0000509Y, you wish to plead guilty to battery, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No, sir, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced you to plead guilty?
No, sir, Your Honor.
I will accept your plea. Sir, the sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 16 days, credit for time served 8 days. Balance will be probated, a 6-week anger management course. No further contact with Mr. Reuter or Mr. Williams, and to stay away from the Stoneview Terrace address. I want you to stay on any prescription medication that you are currently on. It's my understanding that you are residing with your mother. I want you to continue to reside with your mother during the term of the probation. I am going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. And when you complete the 6 weeks of anger management, it will go to a non-reporting status, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did I cover everything, Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. So he will be released as soon as the jail can process him out, if he does not have anything further holding him there. Okay?
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, this is the ACDC Stock Annex.
Good morning, Officer Milton.
Good morning. Before you is Miss Simona Rozier.
Ms. Rozier's position number 24, and that's going to be a negotiated plea this morning.
That's correct, Your Honor, it is.
Good morning, Ms. Rozier. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Abdullah?
Yes, Your Honor, this time, the state is recommending for all charges, 12 months to serve 16 days, credit for time served 16 days, and the balance suspended.
I wondered, do you think it would be possible to do anything with 4 out of 6 that have to do with late? Do you think it'd be possible to do anything with the number of charges? It's the same plate, it's subject of each one, so. I do understand the logic though.
So the charges that I have are obscured or missing license plate, theft by receiving stolen property,
And
acquiring
that's
a
the plate.
license.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, that's the stolen property is a plate.
Right, she, so.
All right, so why don't
initially-
why don't we do this? Why don't you all tell me what the charges are?
I think they are as you're reciting them. The first charge was obscured and missing license plate. The second was a theft by receiving, because she received the stolen license plate that she knew was stolen. She admitted to officers for. The third was acquiring license plate for the purpose of concealing identification. She used it on a vehicle that she knew wasn't registered to her to conceal the identification. The fourth was a driving while license suspended. And the 5 was knowingly driving on suspended registration, and the 6 was expired tags. The 6 charge was expired tags. So there's 6. I think initially on this case there were 8 or 9, and we know across 2 or 3 of them.
She's willing to go forward if the state feels it's necessary to have all these charges. She's still willing to go forward. I just thought y'all might drop a few of the plates because it is one plate. Thank you.
I didn't, do I have a response from the state to Mr. McLean's request, just so I have it on the record?
Oh, yes, at this time we're gonna keep all 6 charges. There was originally, I think, 8 or 9 charges, and we know across 2 or 3 of them, some of the duplicate charges.
Understood.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. McLean?
Nothing, Your Honor. I apologize for interrupting.
No, you're fine. Ms. Rozier, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 0000311G, you wish to plead guilty to obscured or missing license plate, theft by receiving stolen property, acquiring a license plate for the purpose of concealing identification of a motor vehicle, driving while your license was suspended or revoked, knowingly driving a motor vehicle on a suspended, canceled, or revoked registration, and expired or no license plate or decal. Is that correct? Is that a yes?
Yes,
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
no,
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
yes,
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
yes,
Has anybody forced you to plead guilty?
no.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Rozier. Good luck to you, ma'am.
So what does that mean?
That means that unless you have that, you will be getting out of custody as soon as the jail can process you out, unless you have something else that's holding you.
So I'm getting out?
Unless you have something else that's holding you. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. You have a good day, Ms. Rozier.
Good to meet you, Ms. Rozier.
Position 28, Woodall. Do we talk to him?
We're ready. This is just simply a not guilty, Your Honor. The bond, it's going to be making the bond.
Okay. So are you gonna file a written waiver, Mr. McLean?
Well, he's right here. If we could just simply tell him what he's charged with, we waive a formal reading of the accusation.
Okay, I just have that on my sheet, waive arraignment, so I will arraign him if you're not going to file a formal waiver. Good morning, Mr. Woodall. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Woodall. You have been charged in case 23 CR 0000156B with battery, family violence, and simple assault, family violence. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and or $1,000 fine. It's my understanding, Mr. McLean, that you waive formal reading of the accusation. Is that correct?
We do.
How do you plead, Mr. Woodall? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
We will record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge and you'll get notification of your next hearing date. Good luck to you, Mr. Woodall.
Excuse me, Judge Morrow, I have put that in
Yes.
the chat. Can they let 4 North in on the Zoom?
Okay, can we let 4 North End, please? Okay, do we have anyone else there that we can take while they're coming on?
Yes.
And I don't see that Ms. McLean is with us. Could someone give her a call? Mr. Jordan or Ms. Grace, to let Ms. McLean know that, I'm sorry, Ms. McLeod know that her presence is needed this morning.
Okay, Judge.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Who do we have at 4 North?
Position number 20, Mahan.
Have you already spoken with him, Mr. McLean?
No, that's one of the 4, Your Honor.
Okay, I thought so. So we need Mr. McLean. Have you spoken to number 19, Mr. McLean?
Let's see. No, Your Honor, that's Mr. Mianu. I need to be on the phone with Mr. Mianu.
Miano's right here.
Oh, is he here?
They
Right.
brought him down.
They brought it down. So as soon as I talk to Mr. Shepherd, which is number 26, who is number 26? We got Shepherd 26 and then Mianu number 19 right here in person with me. So that should go swimmingly.
Okay, so 4 North, Mr. McLean still needs to speak with Mr. Mahan. So if we can arrange that at some point.
Okay, and I have announcement. Position number 11 and 12, he's gonna be a medical reset. He had an incident in the jail on last night, so he should be at Grady.
Okay. We'll reset him for next week, 2/7, 11 and 12. Okay, where can we go now?
Position 7 and 8, Mr. Escobar, with the Spanish interpreter.
Okay, and you're gonna need to, have you spoke?
Yes, Your Honor. I've
Okay.
spoken with the client.
And 7 and 8, and what are we gonna do with Mr. Escobar this morning?
I believe it'll be a negotiated plea on position 7. I would ask the assigned ASG if instead of 12 months, we could word the probation term as 11 months and 25 days.
Is this your case, Ms. Campbell?
Yes, I'm looking at it. Hold on. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I just didn't know if you heard him.
11 months and 25 days is what you're asking for?
Yes, Ms. Campbell.
No, I would object to that because of the nature of the charge.
All right, I think we're just gonna go forward with the non-negotiated plea with that be on the issue at hand.
Why does that make a difference, Mr. Dodas?
I just don't
so-
want any, apologies, I don't want any issues with Mr. Escobar's immigration status. It's my understanding that anything less than a year won't cause an issue. So I don't see, just for the interest of safety on everything, I would just ask for 5 days less.
Okay,
Everything else.
Well, on that basis, you know, I would consent to what the defense is asking for.
okay. Thank you, Ms. Campbell.
You're welcome.
All right, so it looks like it's gonna be a negotiated plea in that case, correct?
Correct, Your Honor. We stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for the purpose of this plea.
Okay. And Madam Interpreter, if you can raise your right hand for me, do you?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm that you will translate from Spanish to English and English to Spanish to the best of your ability?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Escobar. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Buenos días, señor Escobar. Este es la sesión de lista de causas estatales y la estamos haciendo por medio de teleaudiencia. ¿Está de acuerdo con que continuemos tratando su caso de esta manera?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Escobar, you have been charged with DUI, less safe, possession of an open alcohol container, erratic lane change, and no driver's license.
Señor, a usted le han otorgado los cargos por manejar incapacitado por los efectos del alcohol, por manejar de manera errática e incorrecta al cambiar de carril y por tenencia. I'm sorry, Your Honor. What was the third charge? I got confused.
Let's see, improper erratic lane change, and the other one was expired or no driver's license.
Ok, y por tener su licencia vencida o por no tener licencia. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Escobar, can you raise your right hand for me?
Señor Escobar, ¿puede levantar su mano derecha, por favor?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Usted jura decir la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad ante este tribunal?
Sí,
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down.
¿Puede bajar su mano, señor?
Ms. Campbell.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation for this case is that the defendant is to serve 11 months. He's to get credit for the time he's already served, which is, he served 9 days. So the state's recommendation is that he get credit for the 9 days he served. 11 months to serve 9 days, credit for the time served 9 days, and the balance to be probated. The state is recommending that there be a $500 fine as a condition of his probation, 40 hours of community service, a risk reduction course, ADET, victim impact panel, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while he is on probation.
One moment, please. La sentencia es de 11 meses, dándole crédito por los 9 días servidos y el resto a ser cumplido con una sentencia de libertad probatoria. Se piden $500 de multa, 40 horas de servicio a la comunidad, también una clase de reducción del riesgo al manejar, una evaluación de alcohol y drogas y tomar una clase de impacto a la víctima.
Your Honor, that recommendation is in light of the fact that the defendant, this is his first arrest, and so.
Y esto se hace considerando que ha sido el primer arresto del acusado.
Nothing further.
Nada más.
Mr. Dodes?
Yes, Your Honor, and that's my understanding of the offer. I would just ask this court to waive Mr. Escobar's probation fees, and if the state is in agreement to allow Mr. Escobar to switch to non-reporting status upon completion of all conditions.
Sí, su señoría, yo lo que pido es que se le cancelen las tarifas mensuales de probatoria y que una vez que él haya cumplido con todas estas condiciones que se requieren de él, que no sea necesario presentarse personalmente ante el agente de prueba.
Any objection to non-reporting, Ms. Campbell?
¿Alguna objeción, señora Campbell?
Honestly, I would object.
Honestamente, sí, objeto.
Okay, objection noted. Mr. Escobar, it's my understanding in case 21 CR 001770J, you wish to plead guilty to the listed offenses. Is that correct?
Yo he notado su objeción y señor Escobar, en el caso 21 CR 001-770J, usted desea declararse culpable ante esos cargos, ¿cierto?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
¿Está usted bajo la influencia de drogas o alcohol esta mañana?
No.
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Usted está siendo representado por un abogado. ¿Está satisfecho con sus servicios?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury and that by pleading guilty, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Usted entiende que tiene derecho de recibir un juicio, pero al declararse culpable entiende que usted renuncia a ese derecho de ir a juicio.
Sí, entiendo.
Yes, I do.
Has anyone forced you to plead guilty?
¿Hay alguien que lo haya forzado para hacerlo a usted declararse culpable? No le escuché, señor.
No.
No.
You understand that if you are not a United States citizen, that your status could be affected because of your guilty plea.
Señor, usted entiende que al no ser ciudadano estadounidense, su estado puede ser afectado al declararse culpable. ¿Entiende? No le escucho, señor.
Entiendo.
I do.
I will accept the plea as negotiated.
Yo acepto esta declaración como negociada.
I'm going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation, and when you complete the terms, it'll go to a non-reporting status.
Yo le retiro la obligación de pagar tarifas mensuales para probatoria y una vez que usted cumpla con todos los requisitos que se le piden, usted no va a necesitar ir y presentarse cada mes ante probatoria. Yeah.
Good luck to you, Mr. Escobar.
Buena suerte, señor Escobar.
What? For the paperwork's sake, it's going to be 12 months to serve 11 months to serve 9 days credit for time served 9 days, and the rest of those for the rest of the conditions for the DUI. For the other charges, it's going to be 11 months to serve 9 days credit for time served 9 days, balance probated.
Entonces la sentencia sería de 11 meses para servir en 9 días, se le da crédito por los 9 días y eso referente al cargo por manejar incapacitado bajo los efectos del alcohol, y para el resto de los cargos la sentencia es 11 meses con 9 días y dándole crédito por esos 9 días y el resto de la sentencia para cumplir bajo libertad probatoria.
Is that agreeable with counsel?
¿Estamos en un convenio en esto?
Yes, Your Honor. And just pursuant to the plea negotiation, the state will be no processing position 8. And I will submit that paperwork as soon as court is over.
Sí, su señoría, y para dejar todo establecido en el acta, la posición número 8 del caso número 8 de este acusado no va a ser procesada.
Okay, thank you all.
Muy bien, gracias a todos.
And thank you, Madam
I think
Interpreter.
that's
Do we
it.
have any other cases that we need an interpreter this morning?
Let me confirm with Attorney McClain, but I don't believe so.
Okay.
Very well.
That's all we need from the interpreter. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We so appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Who do we have next?
Position 23. Mr. Price.
That's McLean's case. He's still
23
talking.
is conflict.
Oh, he's a conflict? Okay, that's a conflict, Judge.
Do we have a conflict attorney available this morning? Is Ms. McLeod going to join us? Has anyone spoken with her?
Ms. Grace tried to reach out to her. She called me. She said she left a voicemail message and an email. She's still waiting for her response.
Okay, apparently we have not heard from Ms. McLeod as of yet. And given that this is a conflict case, we will have to
Social worker?
so what we're gonna do, I think, with Mr. Price is that we're gonna reset him for next week. This is not a time served offer, so I'm gonna give Ms. McLeod the opportunity till next week, which is 2/7,
Yes.
to speak with him. So Mr. Price is reset until next Tuesday. Okay? Who do we have next?
I don't know if we have somebody for position 13, Hightower.
No, that's Miss
Mr.
McLeod's. I think that's Miss McLeod's case also, and we're waiting for her to join us if she does.
McLean, you ready? I got position 26, that's ready.
We have ready on Miano and Shepherd, they are not guilty plea.
Okay, we're ready for position 26, Shepherd.
Okay,
Come on, Shepherd.
and what's the announcement on Mr. Shepherd?
That's McLean. McLean, you're ready.
Hold the curtain down and put the line down. Here we go. All right, we're on number which, Your Honor?
Position 26, Mr. Shepherd.
Okay, that's a not guilty, Your Honor. We waived formal reading of the accusation because we've read it, and he's going to plead not guilty.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Shepherd. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Shepherd. You've been charged in case 20 CR 004052C with simple battery family violence. This charge carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. It's my understanding, Mr. McLean, that you waived formal reading of the accusation. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
How do you plead, Mr. Shepherd? Guilty or not guilty?
I'm guilty.
We will record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge, and you'll get notification of your next hearing date. Good luck to you, Mr. Shepherd.
All right. Thank you.
Can we do the add-on position number 2, Whitener?
Okay. What is the announcement for Mr. Hernandez? I'm sorry, for Mr. Whitener.
Mr. Dustin Whitener is a negotiated plea.
Okay.
We were able to see him prior to court this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Whitener. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Campbell?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer on Mr. Whitener's case is 12 months to serve 119 days. Credit for the time he has already served, 119 days. The balance is to be suspended, and he is to be instructed to stay away from the Walmart located at 844 Cleveland Avenue in East Point. Nothing further.
Okay. Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor, that is what he agrees to. He stipulates the necessary elements of venue, ID, and factual basis, and asks the court to accept his plea.
Mr. Whitener, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 000524D, you wish to plead guilty to willful obstruction of law enforcement officers and theft by shoplifting. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and not by pleading these charges, and not by pleading guilty. You're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Anyone forced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I will accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who do we have next?
Miano is ready. That's number
Position
19.
19.
That's also a not guilty plea. We would waive formal reading of the accusation. We have read it.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Miano. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Ms. Miano, you have been charged in case 23CR0000291Y with simple assault, family violence, and simple battery, family violence. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. It's my understanding that you waive formal reading of the accusation, Mr. McLean.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Miano, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
We will record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge and you will get notification of your next hearing date. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Can we do position number 27, Smith?
Okay. What's the announcement on Mr. Smith?
He is one of the four, and is he gonna call me on the phone, or am I gonna see him in person here?
No, you gotta.
We'll have to do a breakout session. I don't have a phone up here for you to call.
Can I go to 4 North physically?
I would have to ask Norris, because he's taking people back, so I would have to ask Norris, can he take you up there?
Okay, so this is not a, this is going to be a request for 120 days with credit for time served 6 days. Do you want to reset them to next week, Mr. McLean, to give you the opportunity to sufficiently
No.
speak?
That sounds eminently efficient, and I think that would be an excellent idea.
Okay, so we're going to reset till next Tuesday, 2/7. Mr. Smith, to give your counsel the opportunity to discuss your case with him. So I'll see you back next Tuesday, okay?
So, hey, Ms. Blunt, any of the cases for McLean, he's gonna do a breakout over here.
He's reached that.
Whatever.
That just leaves,
You still have anybody else on 4 North?
my hand's the only one left out of those 4. There isn't.
Okay, so we're going to go into a breakout room with courtroom 2 and 4 North, is that right?
Right.
No, not with the courtroom 2. It's gonna be with Notice laptop.
Okay,
PD Angela Donis, just so we don't slow everything down.
Right.
okay,
And then also, Judge, has the conflict came back to position 13, Hightower?
we have not heard from her as of yet. If she's not here by the end of the calendar, we're just gonna have to reset the case. I don't believe that we've reached out to her, but we have not heard from her. Is Mr. Hightower in that courtroom with you today?
You see Mr. Hightower anywhere? No.
Yeah, Hightower is here.
Okay, so yeah, Miss McLeod is not here. We have not been able to reach her. If worst comes to worst, I'm gonna reset this until Thursday's calendar.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay, but I want to wait till the end of the oh, go ahead, Ms. Grace.
Yes, who's going out in the breakout room?
It's gonna be Dotis's,
Do you need the breakout room?
yeah, he still needs to break out. Dotis,
Yeah,
laptop with 4 North.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So do we have anyone else in courtroom 2 that we can take now? That's Mr. McLean's case.
That's it, Judge. The only case we have left is position 13. That's the Hightower. That's the
Okay, so we're gonna reset Mr. Hightower until Thursday in that case. What about position 3, Kevin Crawford?
North. You said position 3?
Yes, Kevin Crawford.
Crawford. He's okay, he's gonna be on 3 North, so it's gonna be the roving officers, Judge.
Okay,
Gonna be handling that case.
okay, and what about positions 9 and 10, Fannin and Fowler?
Fan. Okay, Fan is also on 3 North. That's gonna be with the roving officer. And position 10 Fowler,
Hang on just a second.
that's also on the 4th floor. So that's McLean's case.
Okay,
That's with the roving officer as well.
okay. And is position 20 is my hand, is he also with
We're doing the breakout room now.
okay, you're doing the breakout room now, okay. So I guess we're gonna have to wait until the roving officer gets back with us then, right? Oh,
I do see.
Okay,
Who do we have
Can
at
we
jail
address
court?
position 6?
can you hear me?
Yes, I have the
I
position,
have position,
You're charged with.
position 6, to waive his presence, and it's, set for jail jury.
Okay.
And I'll submit that paperwork at the close report, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Who do we have at jail court's iPhone?
position 3. Position 3, Mr. Crawford.
Okay, is this your case, Mr. Dodes?
This is my case. I didn't have the opportunity to speak with Mr. Crawford, so if I can get him on a telephone or something to see what he wants to do, but I
Want you to spend an extra month.
I like time, sir. I also take, I take the bond, I can pay. I'll do one time, sir. I'll be the second time,
Hold on.
Hold on, Mr. Crawford, okay? Mr. Dodes, again, this case, the state's recommending 12 months to serve 30 days credit for 0 days time served. Do you need an opportunity to speak with him? I mean,
yes, Your Honor, I need an opportunity to speak with Mr. Crawford.
okay, so would that best be accomplished by, given that this is not a time served matter, reset for next Tuesday?
I can call him on the phone if you don't mind.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Yeah, McLean's using my laptop, so you can just call on the phone. I can discuss it with him. I'm hesitant to reset it because he's not receiving credit on this.
Telephone number.
I was gonna mention that too.
Oh, okay.
He's not booked on this charge, but maybe if they could book him on this charge today or
All
something.
right, thank you, Ms. Campbell, for bringing that up. Yeah, I definitely wanted to address that.
Okay, so if we can get Mr. Dodes and Mr. Crawford to speak.
All right.
Okay, and I guess court will be on recess until somebody's ready.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Hey, Jeff, do you have the number
Strucker,
to call
they claim that
courtroom.
you bit her.
in our courtroom?
They claim that that caused vomiting and swelling
Yes, I do.
Okay.
and
Step back.
Wasn't they singing with me? Go ahead.
This meeting is being recorded.
Are you ready to proceed on someone?
This is position number 20.
The judge just wants to know if you go back.
And Your Honor, I think we're prepared to go forward on position 3.
And so,
So what are we gonna do with Mr. Crawford?
It should be a negotiated plea.
Okay, and where is Mr. Crawford?
I believe, Mr. Crawford, could you wave your hand? Or, I'm not sure if he's in 4 North or not.
Yeah.
Oh, jail court side, excuse me.
Okay. I think he's, I don't know if he can hear us or not. It's frozen, it appears.
We can hear you, Your Honor.
Okay, so, all right, I just can't see you, so let me know if you can't hear me. Okay. Can you hear me, Mr. Crawford?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm Judge Eric Mora. This is a state all-purpose calendar. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. If you have your hand raised, you can put it down. Ms. Campbell?
The issue is different than that. Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor. As to Mr. Kevin Crawford, position 3, the state's offer is 12 months to serve 30 days. Credit for the time he served 0 days. The balance is to be probated. He's to have no further contact with Matika Dukes, and that's spelled M-A-T-I-K-A. Dukes is traditional spelling. He's to stay away from 3800 East Main Street, which is the College Park MARTA station. And he's to take anger management as a condition of his probation as well. Nothing further.
That's not your job.
Mr. Dodos?
Yes, Your Honor, that's my understanding of the offer, and that's what I conveyed and went over with Mr. Crawford on the phone shortly before this. We do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for the purpose of this plea.
Mr. Crawford, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 007854E, you wish to plead guilty to simple assault and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'll take the 15 days.
Okay, so you wish to plead guilty, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence?
If it's encompassed for
Just say yes.
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir. No, sir, at all. I
You
drink water.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
My question, well, on the second charge, what was the terms? On the second case, what was the terms? Because I know the first case I'm satisfied with.
The terms are the same for both cases, Mr. Crawford. The recommendation is the same for both.
What is your email?
So how long do I serve the first count? I know I said the first case I served 15 days. How long is the second case?
Well, the recommendation is 30 days. If you get credit for time served, then you'll get out in 15 days. But the recommendation is 12 months to serve 30 days. No, that's the recommendation.
I've been here already 2 months. I've been here almost 3 months now so far.
Okay.
I missed court 3 times.
Your Honor, he has a felony case, so I think when he says his 2 cases, he may be referring to his other case that's in Superior Court.
Yes, Your Honor.
Talk about first case, second.
I explained that this isn't what's.
Hold it, hold.
So he should be clear on that. I think he's just asking for information on his Superior Court case, which I informed him we would not be discussing today.
Okay, you understand, Mr. Crawford, that today you're only dealing with these misdemeanors, the simple assault and the obstruction. You understand that?
I do understand that, but you just try to take care of the second case just now and say I have 30 days, which would be called I'll accept to the first case, the 15 days, yes, I'll accept to that. I'll accept to that in the second case. On the second case as a whole, you said 30 days time served, when we already been taken care of 2 months and almost 2 months.
It doesn't, he doesn't seem to understand, Mr. Dodez.
I want to know the second case results. I see here another 15 days on the first case result. But I want to know the second case results, please, sir. As a whole, sir. Penalties.
I'm not comfortable that he understands, Mr. Dodez.
I understand, Your Honor. If we could reset him to.
I just want to know the second.
Like I said, I wasn't available to speak with him in person. If we could reset him as soon as possible, since he's not getting credit for this case. I'll attempt again to see him in person if
I understand. Sure. Excuse me, I'm in a nurse's medical ward and they're playing with my body again, which happened the first time, sir.
Okay, again, given that this is not a time served plea and that he's dealing with other charges, I'd be more comfortable if you had the opportunity to speak with him and explain to him in detail what he is pleading to and what he's not pleading to. So this case will be reset to my.
I said I will accept the terms. I accept terms on both. I accept terms on both. As long as well as I accept the terms on the 15th.
Okay.
I just one more time phrase on. I will accept.
I understand what you're willing to accept, Mr. Crawford, but I want to make sure of that. So I'm going to reset you until next Tuesday. Okay. I'll see you back on 2/7.
Hey, Officer Dudley. Officer Dudley, this is Blunt.
Yes.
Can you check? Johnny Fowler may be on 3 North. He's not on the 4th floor. I just tried calling you over the radio. I didn't get an answer. So Johnny Fowler could be on 3 North.
Okay.
Now we have position number 20 is for you now.
And what are we going to do with Mr. Myhan, position 20?
Not guilty. That's going to be a not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Myhan. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear upon the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, thank you. Mr. Monahan, you've been charged in case 23 CR 0000294B with battery family violence, 2 counts. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Mr. McLean?
We do.
How do you plead, Mr. Monahan? Guilty or not guilty? We'll record your not guilty plea. Your case will be reset to another date, and then the case will be returned to the division judge. You'll get notification of the next date. Good luck to you, Mr. Monahan.
Thank you.
Judge, I got an update on this. She's in court with Judge Terry and Judge Richardson. She finished up an attorney matter before we went away. She'll get online, but she hasn't been her case.
Okay, let her know that it's already been reset. Okay.
If you can see her, make sure.
And also let her know that we need her position number 23 also.
You find something, stuff called join the meeting. Yeah, here's the number to join.
Her case is a Thursday.
Yeah, one is reset till Thursday and position 23 is reset until next Tuesday.
9833. 5251. That's called a meeting, that's called a meeting ID or meeting identification. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 11. No, that's 2, 9, 8, 3, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, 1. Okay, repeat that back to me. I do. Don't end on that. I want to make sure. Correct. Now here's the passcode. Passcode is what they call passwords these days. Okay, passcode. It's 6 numbers. 5, 9, 4, 4, 7, 4. That's what I'm saying. Correct. Thank you. Oh, I think you're supposed to be on at 11 o'clock. Correct. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ms. McLeod. Do we still have Ms. McLeod's client in courtroom 2?
Yes.
Okay, she's here. That's position number 13, I believe.
Yeah. You're gonna have a seat in the.
Can you hear me, Ms. McLeod?
He's right here.
Ms. McLeod, can you hear me?
She don't have her auto connected yet. She need to connect her auto. She doesn't probably realize that.
Can you send her a message?
Her chat.
Thank you.
Not long. I just told her she may have to log off. Somebody going to set her auto. Her auto wasn't connected. She's trying to mess with it now. Yeah, she'll be back. Because if you don't have your auto selected, it won't let you connect. That's the first thing that pops up. If you don't select it at that time, it won't let you go back. We got a DB count. I don't know if anybody's on for that early yet, Judge.
Basically, it's static. Had to go investigate. That was an act to go into. I went back to the office and I called them to Joel. Lights back on yet? Lights back on yet? I couldn't trust them to call me back when they were on. I want to go to the call with them. What do I say? We can't really bring in. I said, you know, yeah, just a bunch of this. I have the software way back in the day.
Ms. McLeod, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor, I can.
Okay, good morning. I hope you're well this morning.
I am well. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. We have position number 13, Mr. Hightower.
Yes,
have you
Your
had
Honor.
an opportunity to speak with him? And if you have, well, what are we going to do with him today?
I have had the opportunity to speak with him, Your Honor. He is interested in a plea if the state has an offer. I'm actually at the courthouse, so I've not seen an offer from the state, Your Honor.
Okay. Who's presenting for Mr. Hightower?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, can you put the offer on the record, Ms. Campbell?
Yes, Your Honor. A moment. The offer is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for the time served 15 days. The balance is to be probated. He's to have no further contact with Jordan Jones. He's to stay away from the Five Guys located at 860 Peachtree Street. He's to complete anger management as a condition of his probation, as well as 40 hours of community service.
How much anger?
How much anger management?
6 weeks is fine.
Okay, so that's the offer, Ms. McLeod.
Is Mr. Hightower on? I can't see him.
Yes, he's before me.
I had discussed with him the possibility that that might be the offer, Your Honor, and he said he was interested in the offer. It had not been officially offered, so I just want to hear from him if he still wants to take the plea based on what we have.
Did you hear that, Mr. Hightower? Ms. McLeod is wanting to know whether or not you wish to take the state's offer.
Yes.
Okay. So he's indicated yes, Ms. McLeod. Do you need to have him complete the paperwork?
I do need him to complete the paperwork, Your Honor. I'm actually at the courthouse because I had a matter before Judge Taylor and Judge Richardson this morning, so I just came outside so I could take care of this. But I can do the paperwork later, but I would want it to be sent to the jail so he can.
Okay. Ms. Campbell, do you have the ability to send the paperwork to?
Yes, I can take care of that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So who do we need to send that to? Is Norris there?
Yes, sir, you can send it to Officer Norris.
Okay.
That's fine. And he can complete the paperwork here.
All right. So let's go ahead and get that done, and once he completes the paperwork, I'll take the plea.
And the officer, please make sure he gives you the information that I asked him for. He said he would. His contact information.
Okay, so while we're doing that, who we have on the iPhone for jail courts?
Yeah.
Position 9, Mr. Fannin.
Okay, and Mr. Dodas, what are we gonna do with Mr. Fannin?
Your Honor, this is a negotiated plea. We stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Fannin. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Fannin. Do you agree to have this done by video? We're doing this,
What did you say, sir?
we're doing this by video. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Fannin. Ms. Campbell?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer on Mr. Fannin's case is 12 months to serve 84 days. Credit for the time served 42 days. Balance is to be probated. He's to have no violent contact with detention officer G. Moss. They're at the jail, and he's to complete anger management while he's out on probation.
How much anger management?
6 weeks.
Mr. Dodas?
Yes, Your Honor, that was our understanding of the offer, and I spoke with Mr. Fannin. I would just add that if we could waive Mr. Fannin's probation fees and switch him over to non-reporting status upon completion of the 6 weeks of anger management. That's it from us.
Any objection to non-reporting, Ms. Campbell?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Fannin, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 0084448C, you wish to plead guilty to simple battery against a police officer or detention officer, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
What did you say, sir?
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
Are you? No.
You've been represented by Mr. Dodas. Are you happy with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury and that by pleading guilty, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
I understand.
Has anybody forced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. I'm gonna waive the fees while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. When you complete the terms, it'll go to a non-reporting status. Good luck to you, Mr. Fannin.
All right.
Thank you. Mr. Dodas, we still have to do position 10, Mr. Fowler? Have we done Mr. Fowler?
No, Your Honor, I believe jail staff was looking for Mr. Fowler.
Okay, all right, so. Go ahead.
Hang on, Mr. Godot, I believe that was position 11 and 12.
I have that we reset Mr. Godot until next week.
I don't know if I stepped away. That was my client. If that happened with the interpreter, I wasn't aware of that.
Did anyone else make that notation?
Yes, they said he had a medical emergency at Grady or something like that.
Okay.
My apologies. Thank you for the update. Apologies for that.
No, so you're fine. So we're waiting on Mr. Fowler and we're waiting on Ms. McLeod's, and Mr. Hightower to get the paperwork. Ms. McLeod also, for next week, if you would not mind representing Devon Price. And we have he's on this week's calendar, but we've reset him until next Tuesday, if you wouldn't mind taking him on as a client.
I wouldn't mind, Your Honor. Could you ask Ms. Grace to send me the information by email?
Okay, very good. Thank you. We'll get that done.
Officer Norris said he didn't receive it yet, Judge.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm working on it. I was taking another plea.
Okay.
Going to position 21.
that was a plea.
That's where I got it mixed up at.
And we also have a DV bench warrant calendar for 11, and as soon as someone gets on the line, we'll do that calendar. Okay, we'll be on recess until someone's ready.
Hey, Francois.
Yes?
Inmate Fowler is not on 3 North. And Blunt said he's not on
Oh,
4
she,
South or.
yeah, she
4
said he got moved to 3. Well, okay, I thought she said he got moved to 3 North.
I'm here now. He's not here.
He's not on 3 North? Okay.
So I don't know where he, no.
Say that again, Duffy, because Norris was talking to me at the same time.
I said, no, he's not here on 3 North.
Okay. Norris said, was he on 4 South? Or can you check 4 South?
I don't know. Blunt was doing that.
Okay.
What position is that? You're 34, right? 34.
Judge Morrow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so for position 34, Mr. Fowler, he's gonna be a reset because he's on the side floor.
Okay, I have it, position 10, Mr. Johnny Fowler.
Position 10, yeah.
Okay, all right, so a reset until next Tuesday. Is that
Okay.
all right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, and so then we're just holding on Ms. McLeod's case, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so
Just,
we'll
we're
get,
just waiting for the paperwork.
okay, let's go ahead.
I just sent it.
Okay, so as you all get that paperwork completed, Ms. Lewis is in court with me. Let's go over the 9 o'clock calendar so that we can get that out of the way.
Everybody ready to go over the calendar?
State's ready.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna start with the add-on. Add-on number 1 was a plea. Add-on number 2 was a plea. Going to the original calendar, position number 1 was a plea. Position number 2 is reset to the competency counter for February the 16th. Position number 3 was a plea. No, I'm sorry. Position number 3 is reset to Tuesday. He did take the plea. Position number 3, repeat it again, is reset for the SAP Tuesday, February the 7th. Position 4 and 5, defendant was released. Position number 6, defendant waiver arraignment, case is reset for trial for the notice. Position 7 was a plea. Number 8 is non-pros. Position number 9 was a plea. Position number 10 is reset for the SAP Tuesday, February the 7th. Position 11 and 12 was a medical reset. The case is reset for SAP February the 7th. Position 13, we're still holding. Position 14, reset for SAP February the 7th. Position 15 was a plea. Position 16, defendant was released. Case reset for the notice. Same announcement on 17 and 18. Set for the notice. Position number 19, defendant was arraigned. Case is reset for trial for the notice. Position number 20, defendant was arraigned. Case is reset for trial for the notice. Position 21, that was a plea. Position 22, reset for SAP February the 7th. Position 23 is reset for SAP February the 7th. Position 24 was a plea. Position 25 was a non-negotiated plea. Position 26, defendant was arraigned. Case is reset for trial for the notice. Position 27 is reset for SAP February 7th. Position 28, defendant was arraigned. The case is reset for trial for the notice. Questions or concerns or corrections? Please send over your null process if you can at this time. The cases that got null process. Ms. Grace, can you let somebody in this Zoom meeting? Please.
I did.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I think I've got the majority of the no process, so I just have to finish the DV case as well as I think I have to take one more plea, so just bear with me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get them to you, I promise.
Okay, while we're waiting, I see that Ms. Natasha Downing has joined us for the 11 o'clock calendar. Mr. Dodes, are you gonna represent Ms. Downing?
Yes, Your Honor, I will be.
Do you need some time to speak with her?
No, Your Honor, Ms. Downing has been in excellent contact with our office this past week ahead of it. We're ready to go on this.
Okay, who's gonna present for the state on this matter? The DB bench warrant, 11 o'clock calendar, Ms. Campbell?
I have two of the matters and Mr. Abdullah has one of the matters.
Okay, who has Ms. Downing?
I have Ms. Downing, Your Honor.
Okay, good morning, Ms. Downing. Can you hear me okay?
Good morning, yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Where are we with Ms. Downing's case? Did she miss court?
Yes, Your Honor, she FTA'd on, I believe it was 11/20. If you could bear with me, I'm having some technical difficulties, so I'm calling in from my phone. Just trying to pull up the case here on my email. Yes, Your Honor, she FTA'd on 11/20. She received two notices for court, one on 11/17 and another on January 2nd. 2023, as well as November 17, 2022, before that 11/20 court date. Both were returned to sender. So it seems that she hasn't updated her address with the clerk of courts.
Whose court?
This was
Judge Richardson.
Judge Richardson, I'm being told. Okay, Mr. Dodes?
Yes, Your Honor. As I said, I've been in excellent communication with Miss Downing. As soon as she was notified by her bonding company that she had the FTA, she called our office to try and get this matter resolved. Miss Downing was in Fulton County custody from July 16th until October 12th of 2022. Then she was transferred to two separate counties, the last being Spalding County through November. During that time, her address was where the return to sender was sent at 1937 North Avenue. But Miss Downing lost that address while she was incarcerated until she was released during the later half of November. So she received the return to sender at that address. She's no longer at that address. She has provided me with a new address, and I can type that into the chat to make sure that the court is updated on that. Miss Downing struggled a little bit when she got out on updating all of her affairs, but she's now in a stable position, so I don't think that this will be a problem going forward. As I stated, as soon as her bonding company notified her about the FTA, because she had no prior intentional knowledge, she reached out to us immediately to try and set the record straight and get this all resolved. So we're asking to have the bench warrant set aside, and as soon as I'm able to, I'll post in the chat Miss Downing's new address, which I have confirmed with her.
Okay.
Your
Yes.
I'm sorry, if I could have an opportunity to just place the facts on the record regarding the case. It's on April 15th, at this time, the state is requesting bond be revoked.
Even though she was in custody, if you get proof that she was in custody, you still are going to request that her bond get revoked?
I'm sorry that she was I heard that she had been in custody prior to the court date, but I didn't hear that she was in custody before her trial. What was the release date on that last custody? I'm sorry.
I don't have the exact release date. I didn't have time to look into that. I know that she was in Fulton County custody until October 12th, but she was then transferred to deal with something downtown, and then Spalding County until the end of November. And I'm happy to, as soon as I'm able to forward as much information as I have on that. But we have Miss Downing here. We have her with a good address, which is why we're asking to set aside this bench warrant. She's been
right. I would agree. She was in custody. Then of course we wouldn't want to revoke the bond. However, from my records or from my research, I didn't see that she was in custody on the date of her trial or leading up to the case, not the trial. I'm sorry, the court date. Which is why we were requesting the bond be revoked. If the bench could provide me with some type of timeline, but I think she was released prior to that 11/20 court date with enough time to go to the court date. Request requesting for that bond revocation.
Plain arraignment judge that she missed. She missed it on November the 30th, and it showed that she was transferred from the Fulton County Jail to 2 agencies back on October, the same within the next month. So it was just a plea and arraignment. It was only 1 day. It was no trial that she missed, and her notice was returned.
Okay, go ahead. Anything further, Mr.? Anything further from the state?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, Sean, if I could just lay the facts, just because we're not showing the date, but I'll just lay the facts for the record. On April 15, 2022, officers responded to a physical dispute call in regards to a female being attacked while on the phone with dispatchers. When officers arrived, they met with the defendant, who was noticeably intoxicated, and told officers she was upset with her roommate, the victim, Mackenzie Hill, who did not pay her rent. Ms. Hill told officers she was sleeping when the defendant began banging on her door and demanding she come out of her room immediately. When Ms. Hill exited her room, the defendant attacked her by punching her multiple times. Ms. Hill was able to call 911 during the attack and could be heard screaming for the defendant to stop while on the phone with dispatchers. Ms. Hill was eventually able to get away from the defendant and retreat back to her room until officers arrived. Officers observed cuts to Mrs. Hill's face, and as a result of the attack, Ms. Hill suffered from hearing loss in one ear. The victim, we have since been in touch with the victim. She feels like she's been failed by the system because the defendant was able to be released or she was given a bond while also while having warrants for other violent crimes. We explained to the victim how the law works and that the defendant was entitled to a bond. I would just like to note her arrest record. She has several open cases, including the assault out of Delaware. She has an assault out of Delaware from 2020, an open case from 2020 for assault, 2 separate cases. She has a simple assault in Pennsylvania from 2021, an aggravated assault from Pennsylvania from 2021, another assault from Maryland in 2017, a disorderly conduct in 2020, and a battery from 2020. For these reasons, the state is requesting that bond be revoked and that the bench board not be set aside.
And this girl done stole all my shit.
Ms. Downing,
Yeah,
now's not the time to speak. We can speak
I
after.
apologize.
That's okay, Ms. Downing, I understand.
All right, given the situation, I'm going to set it aside. Mr. Dodez, you'll need to get me that order. Ms. Downing, I'm going to do this on one occasion. You don't get a second chance, so make sure that if you do move that you update your address. Mr. Dodez tells me that he is going to get us your correct address. We'll put that in the system. You should get any notifications of your next hearing dates. This court normally sets aside these matters in instances such as yours, okay? So please don't miss another date.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you, Ms. Downing, okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, ma'am. Okay, I see that we have now Mr. Hernandez on the line. Who's going to represent Mr. Hernandez today?
I will.
Your Honor, I hate to interrupt, but is it possible for us to take my plea because I'm actually at Judge Taylor's courtroom and
Okay, I'm happy to take your plea, Ms. McLeod, as soon as has he completed the paperwork?
He has, Your Honor.
Okay, so are we ready for Mr. Hightower? Good morning, Mr. Hightower. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Ms. Campbell.
Yes, Your Honor, the offer on Mr. Hightower's case is 12 months to serve 30 days. Credit for the time served 15 days. The balance is to be probated. He's to have no further contact with Jordan Jones. And he's to stay away from the Five Guys restaurant, which is located at 860 Peachtree Street. He's to complete a 6-week anger management course, and he's to do 40 hours of community service, all while he's on probation. Nothing further from the state.
Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, that is our understanding. I would ask the court to waive his probation fees. Your Honor. His son has been locked up for a while, and he doesn't believe he'll be able to get his job back when he gets out.
Okay. Mr. Hightower, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 0000323A, you wish to plead guilty to simple battery and theft by taking. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you to plead guilty?
No.
Okay, I will accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Hightower. I'm going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. And when you complete the terms, it'll go to a non-reporting status, okay?
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Hightower.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon, Ms. McLeod.
Thank
Good to see you. Okay, Mr. Hernandez, I see you there. Mr. McLean, have you had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're ready to move forward with this. Ms. Campbell?
Yes, Your Honor. This matter was reset from last Tuesday before Your Honor, or I apologize, I believe it was last Thursday. And you were giving the state an opportunity to get in contact with the complaining witness in this matter.
Right.
To essentially get an updated address for her to see if she still lived at the incident address. We did make an attempt to reach out to her. We were unsuccessful. We tried various different avenues. We were unsuccessful with getting in contact with her. So the state's position is the same as it was last week, which is that we are asking that the bench warrant remain in place in light of the fact that this defendant and the victim, it's a family violence battery case. I did put the facts on the record at the last hearing, but just briefly, he got into a verbal altercation that turned physical with the mother of his child, and he scratched her on the chest. He pulled her hair. He left visible marks. And then he was given a $3,500 surety bond, and he posted the bond, I believe 9 days after he was given his bond. So he was given the bond on July the 9th of 2022. He posted the bond on July 18th of 2022. He was ordered to stay away from 5555 Roswell Road and have no further contact with Miss Raina Pinedo, the complaining victim witness. And it just looks like he FTA'd on December the 15th, and that was in front of Judge Besson. And then after that, it doesn't look like he updated his address with the court, or at least it looks like the address that he did update the court with is the same address he was ordered to stay away from. And I believe last time he was here, he was saying that the victim doesn't live there anymore. However, the state just has not been able to corroborate that information. The state did make an attempt to do so. However, the state was unsuccessful. So the state is just asking that the bench warrant remain in place for those reasons.
Thank you. Mr. McLean?
Yes, sir. Overall, I think I looked at I didn't go to the apartment complex in person, but I did Google it and take a look on the photographs and the map, and it seems to be a rather large apartment complex. He was talking about the difference between J5 and J7, which are across the hall from each other, but also involved in the case is apartment V8, which I assume has got to be a different building. There's more than 26 there's 26 letters in the alphabet. They got more than 26 buildings in that apartment complex. It's kind of large. I asked him, I said, where do you live? And he says that he's living in Conyers, I believe, with his mom. He had some kind of matter where he thought the best address to use for mailing purposes would be the J5 or the J7 or wherever his aunt lives. And that was really a dumb idea. He claims that he does not go to 5555 Roswell Road physically. So he's not trying to stalk anybody. He's not trying to hang around, but somebody gets the mail because through the years, that's been a reliable mailing address. He decided to use that. Had he gotten some proper advice, somebody would have said, no, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. Just get your mail where you live, which apparently is, I think, Conyers.
Do you have a mailing address for him in Conyers, Mr. McLean?
He stated it to me. I didn't write it down. Is it your mother that now moved to Conyers, Mr. Hernandez? Who's there?
Yes, it's my mother address. She put it on the bond company too. It's
Does she live in a house? Does she live in a
Yeah,
house?
house.
And do you know the street address? Do you know the?
It's 1559 Duren, Duren Farms, Latonia, Georgia, 30058.
Right now.
Is that where he lives, Mr. McLean?
Yeah.
Are you saying that is that what you where you lay your head at night, as they say?
Yes, that's why I'm gonna change it already. My bond officer already has this address. I already talked to him. His name is Chris Howard.
But let me back up a step, Mr. Hernandez. Duren Farms, is that street or road, did you say?
Street.
Okay. Lithonia.
Duren is Duren.
Okay, and we got
Farms.
Somebody wrote down the number.
Latonia, Georgia.
Right. So that
30058.
And that's a house. Does your mother rent it?
No, she owns.
Okay. Well, I was thinking Conyers, but okay.
Okay, so you're gonna get one opportunity, Mr. Hernandez, given that you're not at the Roswell Road address. You're not to go back to that Roswell Road address, unless there's a modification. It appears that the apartment number on that address was incorrect anyway. As such, you will get your other notifications to this Duren Farms address. If you miss court one more time, the next time the bench warrant is not going to be set aside. You understand me?
Yes, sir. I understand.
All right, so I'll set it aside this time. We'll make sure that we have your proper address in the system, and all right, good luck to you, Mr. Hernandez.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You do the same.
Like send that address over to you?
And Mr. McLean, Ms. Lewis is asking that, even though I took it down, that you send that address over in the chat so that we have it directly from you, okay?
Okay, Mr. Hernandez, I've got the spelling of Duren Farms and I've got the zip code. What was that house number?
1559.
1559. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see, I saw that Mr. McKenzie came on the line. Who's representing Mr. McKenzie?
Your Honor, I spoke with Mr. Kinsey and advised him as much as I could, but he does not qualify for the services of the Public Defender's Office.
Okay, Mr. McKenzie, I'm Judge Eric Mora. This is the DV bench warrant calendar. Apparently, you've missed court at some point in time, and the state is seeking to revoke your bond. You have a right to have counsel present for these proceedings. Can you unmute yourself, Mr. McKenzie?
Okay, is that better?
Yes. Do you have you sought to have private counsel, Mr. McKenzie, to represent you in this matter?
I just spoke with the public defender yesterday, and he told me I didn't qualify and told me that I need to seek counsel, which I am going to. I just need a little time to get it. As far as the court date, Your Honor, I would have been there. I was unaware of it. My job let loose on December 16th for the winter holidays. Me and the family went down to Florida for the holidays and also to stay there for my uncle's wedding. He just got married January 7th, that Friday. And we came back January 9th. And when I got back, I saw the mailer then saying that, that the court was January 4th. The very next day, I called the litigation manager that was on the letter and told her exactly what happened. And she told me to go down to the court clerk to show my ID to have the court date reset, which I did. If I would got the mailer before I left to go to Florida, sir, I could have easily logged on down in Florida. I wouldn't have missed the court date for no reason whatsoever. But I was unaware of the court date until I returned back from Florida.
Okay, Ms. Campbell?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to give the procedural posture of this case because I think it's very important. Although I acknowledge what Mr. McKenzie is saying about him not receiving the notice because he was out of town. There is also some other issues with this case prior to him allegedly being out of town on the court date, which was January the 4th of this year in front of Judge Besson, and it was a final plea calendar. On September 7th of 2022, the state did file a motion to revoke Mr. McKenzie's bond with the division judge, Judge Besson, because this defendant was non-compliant with the no further violent contact provision of his bond while he was out on bond. In the case, he has 4 different charges. He has a battery, family violence, and he has 3 counts of cruelty to children. So he was ordered to have no further violent contact with the mother of his child. And he did not comply with that. Specifically, a day after he was released from custody, a day after posting bond, he actually began repeatedly calling the victim's phone, and he left her several harassing and threatening voicemails. That was the subject of the state's motion to revoke bond at that time. And the state actually requested a hearing so that the state could play those voicemails for the court. I'm not going to repeat the text that I have from the voicemails, but essentially he was threatening to cause the victim bodily harm. He was threatening to cause the mother and the father of the victim bodily harm, and he was just yelling profanities and expletives at her. I did look in Case Manager and I did not see a ruling on that motion that was filed on September 7th, 2022. Maybe it's because there was no hearing, because it is my understanding that this defendant is not represented by counsel even to this day. So that's just my assumption as to why there was actually no hearing and there is no ruling at this time on that motion to revoke bond. However, the state is very concerned about the safety of this victim, especially in light of the fact that this defendant's not even showing up to take accountability for these charges. And while he's out on bond, he is engaging in additional threatening and harassing behavior towards her. And the underlying facts from this case, he allegedly struck her in her face. Her name is Ronica Nix, 2 times with a closed fist to her temple. And the officer observed a laceration to her temple as a result of her being struck by this man in front of all 3 minor children that were present in the home. According to the police report, one of the minor children had to step in between the defendant and the victim in order to get the defendant to stop beating on the mother of his child. And the child had to beg and cry for her dad to stop. And only at that time, from my reading of the incident report, did the defendant stop attacking the mother of his child. So in light of the fact that he FTA'd earlier this year on the 4th, and in light of the fact that we already had a motion to revoke bond that was filed in September of last year because he's violating his bond conditions, which are not difficult to comply with, it just simply says no further violent contact. The state is asking that his bond be revoked. And the state is also asking that this bench warrant remain in place because the state does have concerns about the safety of the victim, Your Honor.
Okay, so the bond is before Judge Besson, so I'm going to let her rule on that. As far as this, Mr. McKenzie, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you, okay? You need a lawyer. I'm going to give you a week to get a lawyer. The bench warrant is going to remain in place until next week, at which time, if you do have a lawyer, I am going to hear from that lawyer. If you do not have a lawyer, then I will make a determination as to revoking this bench warrant at that time. Yes, sir.
Sir, just to speak on my behalf,
Okay, let me just say this, Mr. McKenzie. Quite often, defendants want to speak on their own behalf. and they think that what they are going to say is going to be helpful to them. Quite often, it's not. I would advise you to speak with an attorney about anything that you're going to say, because not only is this before a solicitor this morning, it's also being recorded live on YouTube. All right, so they will be able to pull this and get whatever you say and use that against you possibly at some other time. So I'm giving you the opportunity to get a lawyer to advise you in this matter. I can't stop you from talking. If you want to, if over what I've just told you, you want to go ahead and speak, I will allow you to do that. But I would suggest to you that you get a lawyer and you come back next week and you have that lawyer speak for you. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay, so do you want to take me up on that?
I do, Your Honor. Only thing I want to ask for is financially. I just need a little bit more time to find a lawyer. Secondly, only thing I called my ex for was to check on my son, which I haven't spoken to in a while until recently last month. Me and him spoke. She's called me and allowed me to speak with him. I haven't spoke to her. I don't know.
Mr. McKenzie, they're saying they have tape recordings. So I just advised you, and if you and if they do have tape recordings, and you just said, all I did was this, all I did was that, and they're going to come back and say, you know, they're going to use that against you. Listen to me.
I understand.
All right.
Can I ask for a little more time to financially?
I will give you time, but you have to know that you have a bench warrant out there. That if you get pulled over, if you get picked up, they're going to execute that bench warrant. So if you need more time, I'm going to give it to you, but you have a bench warrant that is active. You understand?
Yes, sir. And sir, as far as the bench warrant, again, if I would known about the court date, the mailer wasn't sent out. I'm seeing the date on the mailer was December 15th. The post date was until the 20th. If I would have known about it, I would have been there. I'm very responsible. I got
okay, but you have other issues also that you're going to need to address besides just that one issue with the bench warrant.
Yes, sir, I understand.
You have the issue of violation of the bench warrant. So that's why I want to give you the opportunity to get a lawyer. So I'm happy to give you, whatever you need, but I'm not going to set aside this bench warrant until I hear from you again or your lawyer. So how much time would you like to me to give you?
Sir, I was going to ask for 30 days to at least find to get the money up to find a lawyer. I did speak to somebody and they said that they need the entire $5,000 up front.
Okay, well, just knowing that in the next 30 days that you have an active bench warrant out there for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's what you're requesting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll reset this.
He asked for 30 days. It won't be to the next calendar. May 30 days will be February, March the 2nd.
We'll reset you to March 2nd. 11 o'clock. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thanks again, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Okay. I think that completes our calendars for this morning. Thank you all. And Ms. Lewis will wait on your paperwork and I'll get it signed as soon as everyone gets it over. All right. Y'all have a good rest of the day. I'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good one. See you.